qualification is on the line. Let's really dive into the story for the last event of the season. Leo, Rio Waida, Ryan Callanan, already officially on tour. Macy Callahan, Molly Picklum, Caitlin Simmers on tour as well. Top 5 women, top 10 men. So we've got 7 spots left on the men's side and just 2 spots left on the women's side. And look at all the surfers still with a mathematical shot, even to 45 for the men, and also 9 surfers for the women coming into this final stop, the Haleiwa Challenger at home in the Hawaiian Islands, to maybe make their dream come true. One man that's been going for a qualification run for 10 years is in his closest position to date. Big story of Ramzi Boukhiam coming up next. Favorite time of the year talking about qualification. Let's focus on the men, Ross, because we've got 3 guys that have already clinched their spot early, but there's 7 that are still up for grabs. As we look at the list, I mean, going down to 15, Jacob Wilcox. I mean, he's one of those guys that has had more than one story of coming here to the North Shore with needing maybe one more heat win to make it happen. So he has all that history behind him. We'll see if he can change it around this year.
Yeah, Jacob's one to watch for sure. From West Oz, Margaret River, he surfs so well there. He's got that wicked backhand. Jacob's not afraid to smash a big section, which that's all about Haleiwa. Also, a dark horse for me is Imai Duval. He mathematically has a great chance here as well. Keep in mind, you guys, it's best 4 results. So that's really, you're asking for huge results, like quarterfinals or better. But a lot of these surfers down here, 15 through even 20, everyone's throwing away 350, 650 points. So, there's a lot of room for people to jump.
And then seeing names like Eitan Osborne, almost a surprise story there, putting himself in a great position. Siblick, world-famous rookie run, making the WSL Final 5. Dylan Moffitt, we got to see a bit of in Narrabeen. But as we get closer to maybe a more of a true shot for guys like Ramzi, who's now number 4 coming into this event after a 10-year run on the QS, Rosy, is now his time.
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, Ramzi's just such a solid surfer throughout. We've watched his career. He doesn't have major backing, no sponsor kind of support. He's been such a decorated junior, but now he's really doing it on his own back. Even looking at his year, I mean, he got 73rd at Ericeira and then came back and made the final at Sakura. So the guy's got a lot of grit and determination.
Let's spend some time with the man from Morocco.
My name is Ramzi Boukhiam. I'm from Morocco and I'm 28 years old. Well, I've been doing this for quite a long time now, so I've been kind of close a few times and I feel really confident. I know that I can mix it up with these guys up there, so that's why I keep doing it. It's time for me, I'm 28, turning 29. I feel like I'm in my prime, physically, mentally, and in my surfing, so it's time for me to get up there and show the people that I can mix it up with these guys too, It's time to prove it.
29 years of age, when he qualified for Tokyo 2020, the Olympic Games, he got close to a building near his home, and it was his face on this wall, a mural of himself. And he said that just gave him confidence, realizing he's surfing for not just himself, but from where he came from as well. And you just see all that maturity the way he talks. I believe that confidence, Rosy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's also going through the fire that he's been through. He's been so close, like he mentioned, to make this championship tour. So is this his year? He's looking so good, and he's done so well to pull it all together.
Year to date, we talked about Snapper opening up the season. Ramzi kicked off the year with a quarterfinal finish. Definitely a keeper for him to kick off his qualification campaign, Ross.
Well, Joe, you mentioned Ramzi is from Morocco, and some of the best right-hand waves in the world. So he's groomed his surfing there. He's also groomed his surfing in Southwest France in the beach break. So Ramzi is a well-rounded surfer, and it shows. He can get results in big, grindy beach breaks like this right here. But you get this guy wound up on his backside. He is one of the best in the world. And as you guys know, he's been clawing at that door for the CT for many, many years. But he's only, 28 years old, he said. So he's still a young man. Like he said, he's in his prime. So I'm sure he's making a lot of the guys on his CT turn around and take a look in the rearview mirror.
As you see, the conditions today, once again, off for today and tomorrow, but Ramzi's still out there preparing on those JSs that he's been loving for a majority of his career. His draw, though, you can see Eitan Osborne, who's just been a superstar. I think I've added the word surprise with Eitan. It's just because he's a free surfer. He doesn't feel like he has a strong game plan. He wants to be explosive, and that's why I love the element of surprise with him. But Kalani Ball as well is going to make that a pretty tough heat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these guys are so competitively savvy. You've got someone like Eitan who really is, the surprise factor. I don't think he's going to be feeling that nervous energy, and that's really dangerous for those guys sitting on the bubble looking at qualification, because he could come out of nowhere and win the event and qualify. So, strange things happen at the last event of the year.
Yeah. Great time as well for another man that we're very used to hearing his name at the CT level, Ezekiel Lau, especially here in Hawaii. What a great opportunity to compete at Haleiwa to try to get his spot back on tour. Remember, made the semifinals here last year, just losing out to Jack Robinson and John Florence. Still feels like he has that intimidating factor in the locker room with all of his confidence that he has, Ross.
Yeah, Zeke is a fun guy to watch at Haleiwa. I would say this is probably his favorite wave on the North Shore. Even though he's had major success at Sunset Beach, I really like Haleiwa better for him. For me, he reminds me of a Sonny Garcia / Kolohe Andino. He's got a little bit of that fin sliding moves, but he's also loves and appreciates a layback hammer. So Haleiwa is right up Zeke's alley, and he's going to be feeling really comfortable here.
And he's been here a lot, kind of like Ramzi, in that 29 club now. Zeke just had a birthday. He's been here. He's done that. He's felt the pressure. He'll have a rematch with João Chianco, which was the final of the U.S. Open, and also Mihimana Brai. And we'll see who also makes that heat as this event gets going. We're going to take a quick break. It's all about the Bettylou Sakura Johnson story, looking to get her spot back on tour. Because it's all coming down to this to see if they'll qualify. Joe, Rosy, Ross here for the call. Ross, this tends to be your favorite time of the year to see how they handle the pressure, no matter where they stand in the rankings. Do they handle pressure better if they're outside of the top 5 or inside of the top 5, holding a position like they've got something to lose? Let's start from deep first, Ross, though. Muro Suzuki, Sarah Baum, Sawyer Lindblad, a few surfers that can come from deep.
Well, you'd always rather be inside the bubble and watching everyone trying to come back in, for sure. Mathematically, Sakura she's looking really good. Actually, only Teresa and Alessa mathematically can pass her, and they have to get second place to beat that nearly 27,000 points. So she's looking good, but obviously, anything could happen. So she needs to keep her head down. But looking at Teresa, she is on that hot seat, you guys. And, Bronte's really good out here. Unfortunately, Nikki's injured. Sophie, there's a lot of hammers behind her. Vahine, she surfs amazing out here. She is a powerhouse, so it's going to be exciting.
It's definitely going to be exciting, and you alluded to it, Ross, that Bettylou is looking so good to solidify that spot. So it really means that there's one more seat left at the table. So there are a bunch of women clamoring for that one seat. Right now, Teresa has it. Can she hang on?
Oh, crazy to see the position that Bettylou's in now. From last year winning, being the queen of Haleiwa, all the friends and family on the Dream Tour, and then off, and that emotional roller coaster to be where she is today. Let's hear from Bettylou now on how much it means to her to be on the Dream Tour.
Why do I want to be on the championship tour? It's because I think that's the next step to my surfing. It's the next step for me personally to pursue myself and learn more and be better as a competitor. Everyone wants it, and you're doing the Challenger series to be there. I think that's where I belong, and I really enjoy competing, and I'm a competitive person personally, so I think I'm able to express that while I surf.
What an exciting time for Bettylou, as she had a lot of comparisons like phenoms often do of the next Carissa Moore, the next one to bring titles home here to Hawaii. And how do you think she's handled that so far, Rosy?
Yeah, she's done well. I think it was disappointing for her to have to get back on the Challenger Series, but listening to her speak, she's got defined goals, saying the next step is qualification, and the next step after qualification is a world title. So she sounds like she's got such a solid head on her shoulders.
As we watch the highlights of Bettylou last year at this event winning, even with Carissa Moore in the draw, I want Ross to really break down what has changed in her surfing specifically from last year to what we could expect this week at Haleiwa.
Well, she's always had a knack for a really strong back foot. She's such a powerhouse. She's only just turned 17 a few months ago, so she's really young. And with that you guys, comes maturity. So she's slowly but surely taking the cracks, taking the bruises, and learning how to avoid those messy losses. It's so easy to get nervous and catch the wrong wave, maybe mess up priority, and she's had a bucket of those types of mistakes this year. But guess what? When you have those weird mistakes, you hopefully learn from it. And Sakura is really good at looking in and going, okay, I messed up. I need to learn and make sure I never do that again. We make sure we really dissect all her mistakes. So, it's not easy to do all these different tours and try to, get back to the CT. It's arduous. It takes a lot of energy, but that's a great way to learn.
Also looking at her heat, round of 32, you surf a lot with Sawyer Lindblad in San Clemente. How's she going to push Bettylou?
Oh, man, this is going to be great for Sawyer. I think last season, she had to pull out of this event. She had an injury, and she was looking good on the rankings. So, it's all been a learning curve. Like Ross said, it's all about bringing your best. This is the last event of the season. Sawyer's got to go all out if she's going to get that last spot onto the championship tour.
Exciting moment. No, Bettylou's probably going into this still knowing she needs to compete to make